Well, hello everybody. Bug Eater 64 here. Good to see you again. Welcome aboard our MD11. We're going to be flying from Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii, to KLAX, Los Angeles, California, USA. So it's going to be a little over 2,200 nautical miles. A little bit shorter than the last one. The last one, of course, we did over 4,447 nautical miles. But this one, about half that distance, and we're looking forward to it. So let's get inside the cockpit. We're going to get things started. Unfortunately, going to look at some ugly scenery on the ground at Honolulu International. This is the last flight I'm doing in Microsoft Flight Simulator with this particular Honolulu third-party supposed to be an update. Once you get in the air and you get away from it, it's gorgeous. But there at the airport, things just look horrible. And you'll see some of it when we get started and understand what I'm talking about. So let's get inside the cockpit. Let's get things started and get on our way to LAX. See you inside. Okay, so here we are, Honolulu. Getting ready to head for Los Angeles International.
Ever since I heard it announced, I was like, oh, that'd be cool. But it's like, that's just that's one of the slowest planes out there, barely gets 100 knots. It's kind of.
Yeah, and we're going to be hearing
I know slow,
some of my other sim flying buddies.
Sometimes you just got to get somewhere.
It's windy. You have a problem pulling the trigger on a purchase.
Yeah, so here we go.
Mark your calendars, everybody. Chris didn't buy something right away. It's got a kind of decent sized footprint. I mean, it's nowhere near the size of a Challenger, but it's like 1/3 the weight of a Challenger.
Air America 2XX Alpha Alpha
Okay, so
is cleared to Los Angeles Airport.
Very well.
we'll go ahead and get the APU started here.
5,000 feet. Departure frequency is 124.8 squawk 7743.
Okay.
America 2XX Alpha Alpha Delta X-ray 010 cleared to Los Angeles Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 4 right climb and maintain 5,000 feet. Departure on 124.8 squawk 77.
Okay, so APU power.
America 2XX Alpha Alpha Delta X-ray 010
Let's get our
is correct.
line
Contact ground on 133
for navigation.
when ready to taxi. Good day.
A lot of boats in the water.
It's Hawaii, you'd expect that. Okay,
Tinted glass fix, don't I? Okay. Oh, I can see the runway now.
so now that we've got power to our MD11,
So
let's see about getting
I'll pilot off.
make sure fuel is all turned off. Don't know why it sets default on this airplane. It keeps the fuel turned off. So even at the end of a flight, I turn it off again when I'm shutting down the engines. But overall, not a bad bird at all to fly. And this is the Sky Simulations version of the MD11. All right. Taking care of some housekeeping details in the background, so that's the part you don't get to see, unfortunately. Okay, so let's see. No,
Detroit young traffic going around for the traffic on the runway.
yeah, so we got,
Young.
okay, we'll arm that. Okay, now, there we go. Let's turn on our engine ignition. So now we should be able to start up the engines. And the actual sequence
There's a
I
plane
have
sitting on
later
friggin' right.
found is that you start with engine 3. It goes 3, 1, and 2. So that's the real world sequence. But we are starting with engine 1, then we'll do engine 2, and then engine 3. So we wait for N2 to get up close to 15, and we can introduce fuel, and the engine starts. So engine 1 is starting up nicely. And we don't have to worry about pushback today, so go ahead and look at our FMC and see about getting this thing going.
Traffic sitting at Kilo Delta Echo Tango on runway 15. Do you copy?
And let's see here. Okay. And I am still learning the FMC. Is it flaps today? We're going to use 20 to take off.
Who's this guy sitting on the freaking road?
And double check our V's. V1, VR, V2. Okay.
Are you serious? According to this, there's nobody sitting on the runway. Unless you just logged off.
All right. So double check our flight plan.
Okay, I'll try this again.
I've got my VFR map bound to M, so I can always check to see if there's traffic for VATSIM on there.
Okay. So with that, let's go ahead and get engine 2 started. Okay. Introduce fuel.
Great.
Okay, so engine 1 is stabilized nicely. Wait for engine 2 to stabilize. And we'll go ahead and look at what we call dial in after we get engine 3 going. Dial in our flaps. Okay, engine 3 getting started. Scroll that up to 20. There we go. So that is set. Engine 3. Okay. We're going to move that back to 15, I think. Anyway, you see, I'm still learning this aircraft, but we're going to give it our best shot.
There's somebody right there that just took off from an airport. Who are they? Map. That's in map.
Okay. So we've got 3 good engines. Flight plan is set up.
Really? Well, whatever plane that is, they're not on VATSIM. Oh yeah, I forgot they won't show up here if they're not
Yeah.
showing a call sign. If they're not showing a flight plan, they won't show up on that map.
On which map?
The Vetson map.
Vetson map in the game.
Yeah.
If you don't have a flight plan, you don't show up on that map.
Yeah, but they should show up on the VFR map.
Well, they do, but I don't know. They didn't tell me their call sign though.
Oh.
So I can yell at them.
They could show up on the SimiWare map, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can turn off the ignition. Let's get our lights on. We've got a long taxi, so once we get that started through the magical world of editing, we'll be able to get through it pretty quick.
November 3 Tango Whiskey, November 3 Tango Whiskey, are you on frequency?
Because we've got to cross the runway to get to
you at, Kilo Delta Echo
the end of our runway.
Oh, okay. Were you the one I flew over on when I was on final?
Okay. Just about ready here.
That's no problem. I just saw you sit on the runway. I was like, who the heck is that?
Air America do XX Alpha Alpha Delta X-ray 010 taxi to and hold short of runway, full right, using taxiway Alpha Tree Alpha Golf, cross runway 8 left.
I got you. Yeah, I called last time I called 10 mile final, so I was coming in kind of slow, so we're good, man. I just wasn't sure if that was somebody of Vetson or some random AI traffic that got on there somehow.
Taxi 2 and hold short runway 4
Copy that. You have a good flight.
Alpha Tree Alpha Golf, cross runway 8 left Golf Bravo Delta, cross runway 4 left Delta, cross runway 4 right Delta Charlie Air America XX Alpha Alpha Delta X-ray 010.
Okay, let's try
All right, I think we are about ready here to start our taxi.
Citation 700 Tango
And
Papa.
we will be behind that
13 nautical mile final, runway 3 young traffic.
World Travel 747.
No.
So let's get going.
I got a hold of him. He never made any calls. I know he didn't because never heard him. I think he just literally logged onto the airport and runway and took off.
Oh, I got you.
This will be the third and last flight I do in from Honolulu with this particular third-party
He was cool about it. I just
addition to
that was an interesting landing. 100 feet
improvements
per minute,
of the airport, because basically it renders
a little wobbly.
something awful. Okay, so we're going to come down here and we're going to cross the runways.
To the in-laws for a couple hours.
So here we are at the end of runway 4 right. And we'll finish up our housekeeping and move out onto the runway.
He's going to start my transcontinental flight around the world 6 times.
Cleared for takeoff runway 4 right Air America do XX
Alrighty.
Delta X-ray 010.
And as you can see there in the replay, here's a jet will be landing with a lot of contrail. Doesn't make any sense to me. So let's get out on the runway and let's get our bird taken off. Got our landing lights on. It's a bit touchy trying to get these switches to come down. But once they're good, we're good. Okay, so all the lights above are black, so that's a good sign. We have a jet on final in the replay, so we'll wait till that ghost plane flies by. move out onto the runway and start our flight to Los Angeles International Airport in Southern California, USA. All right, start adding power, get up to between 60 and 70%, hit the auto flight, and it'll go into toga. And it's talking about the stabilizer, but I've got everything in green on the page, so we should be all right. And V1, so we can rotate. Gear coming up, a positive rate. So gear is now up.
Air America to XX Alpha, Alpha Delta X-ray 010 contact. Departure on 124.8. Good day.
Going to 124.8 Air America to XX Alpha, Alpha Delta X-ray 010. Departure Air America to XX Alpha, Alpha Delta X-ray 010 is at 1,100 feet, climbing 5,000 feet.
Air America to XX Alpha, Alpha Delta X-ray 010. Departure altimeter 30.09er. Continue to shark as planned.
Okay, our previous flight was 4,447 miles. This flight is a mere 2,200 and a pinch.
Climb and maintain
So-
5,500 feet Air America to XX Alpha, Alpha Delta X-ray 010.
And we're going to hope that we can do our landing a little bit better than our last one. Of course, this time I don't expect there to be any aircraft parked in the middle of the runway like our previous landing into Honolulu International. So everything should go well. Okay, so we'll go back to engine indication there. And we'll keep climbing up to, eventually we'll be climbing up to 32,000 feet. Okay. Look at the lower left. You can see in the replay that diamond head is just about straight ahead of us.
Departure Air America to XX Alpha, Alpha Delta X-ray 010. Request flight level 480.
Air America to XX Alpha, Alpha Delta X-ray 010 climb and maintain 5,500 feet. Expect flight level 480.
Okay, we're going to have to call back and decrease that. All right, so let's speed things up some.
Request flight level tree 40.
And we'll get back to this when
Alpha Delta X-ray 010
we get ready on approach to LAX.
level tree 40.
Climb and maintain flight level 210. Expect flight level tree 40 Air America to XX Alpha, Alpha Delta X-ray 010.
So here we are coming in to the LAX area of Los Angeles, California. I was going to come in straight off the ocean, but ATC has changed the runway to, I believe it's 25 left. So we've got to go towards the mountains, turn around 180 degrees, and then come into land. which we have done, and here we are on final approach. The autopilot has been turned off at this point, and the aircraft is mine. So let's see if I can land her a little better than the last time. So make sure your trays are in the upright position, seatbelts are fastened and cinched tightly. Those of you that have flown with me in the past have already taken care of those matters a long time ago. And we are low of the flight path, but we'll be all right. Plenty of runway.
Approaching minimum.
Just about center line there. Still getting used to the fact how tall this airplane is.
10.
And touchdown.
Vertical speed 2,832. Side slip 0.1.
Actually, it was
Alpha, Alpha, Delta, X-ray, 010.
minus 171.
129 or decimal 5 for Air America to XX Alpha Alpha Delta X-ray 010.
Little lag there. Start cleaning things up. Get the flaps up. The slats in the position. And you still had the reversers on. No wonder I stopped on the runway. That's a cardinal sin. Shame on me. All right, well, let's get her over to a parking area. Finish off our flight. Much better landing than my last one. So, still a lot to learn about this aircraft, but I like it. So we're going to pull in right here. Welcome to Los Angeles International Airport, Los Angeles, California, the USA. Hope you enjoyed the flight. All right, flight's finished. Much better landing. Not perfect by any means, but my best landing yet in the MD11 in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Flight went well. No real major issues. Bit of a hiccup for me anyway when ATC changed my runway. Originally I was going to come in from over the ocean and land, but the winds had changed about 180 degrees, so I had to come in on runway 25 left. Got her done. Got it stopped. You know, for the FSAirlines, made a ton of money. So in 2 flights, since purchasing this aircraft for FSAirlines for $57 million, it paid for itself and then some with just 2 flights. No complaints there. That's excellent. The Sky Simulation MD11 is a great airplane for fun. It's not study level. It doesn't profess to be study level, but it's got plenty of systems that work. It's got a learning curve. It's got some issues, and there's plenty of videos out there to talk about it. But for me, a person who has really enjoyed the MD11 through its history, because I'm old enough to remember when it first started. It's a great airplane. A lot of fun to fly. And I hope you enjoy it if you ever get the chance to fly it. So, with that, I'm so happy you all came along. Great having you here. Look forward to our next flight, which, by the way, will probably be in the MD11, but it's going to be in X-Plane 12, and it's going to be with the rotate version of their MD11 with the latest update. So you want something that's going to take a little bit of a learning curve? Wait till we get going with that one. It should be really interesting. Anyway, until next time, this is Bug Eater 64, and as always, my friends, please remember, safe flying.